Welcome to a Skin Depth Convo. I'm Anna Kagarakis. We're starting 2024 with something big. The show is now available as a video format, so you get to see all our lovely faces and have access to the show on the Lira Clinical website and on YouTube. But don't worry, if you like to just listen to the show, or maybe you're on a walk, or while you're on a commute in the car, or maybe while you're just doing laundry, you can still listen on your favorite podcast platform like iTunes, Spotify, whatever it is. Just listen to the show anytime or anywhere. Now, we have a lot to get to today because a new year not only means a new show format, but also new trends in the skincare industry. And to get into all of that, I'd like to welcome in our expert hosts, part of the founders of Lira Clinical, Metaxia and Francine Kagarakis. How are you guys liking this brand new video format?
It's a little more work. We have to make sure the hair is in place, the lipstick's on. It's fun. And we're excited to start something new.
I'm impressed that technology has given us this opportunity so you have choices, and that's really cool. And like Francine said, the lipstick, the hair, the hairspray, all of it has to be in place now.
Oh, yeah. And we've definitely had a few technical glitches here and there as we've been doing the show, so we're learning it. There's a couple little speed bumps along the way, but we're making it work, and it's going to be a lot more fun every single episode that we're doing this. Now, coming up, we'll also be talking about trends with Barry Eichner and Jenni Nagle. They are the co-founders of Lipgloss and Aftershave. So we're going to have a lot of fun chatting with them. You do not want to miss it. But before we look forward into 2024, I first want to go and look back with you both on the previous year. So let's talk about some of the biggest trends from this last year. And did any of them actually surprise you?
I'm not surprised because what I'm seeing today is more and more people are informed and they're looking for products that are much more professional, that give them results. So we are able to see that they understand what skincare is all about and seek out the best to get the best results.
I have to say it's more skincare. I think there's a lot more commercials, there's a lot more awareness. When I have my granddaughter at 11, almost 12 years old, talking about hyaluronic acid, there is a lot more exposure to it. It's really exciting to see that the trend is kind of just being more exposed to skincare and proper skincare.
I have to ask this though, for your granddaughter, do you think that she's been around skincare a little more and maybe that's a little bit of an influence?
I don't know that because at that soccer tournament, there were a bunch of girls and they wanted to go into Sephora and try out all the little samples. And they were talking about hyaluronic acid. It could be an influence, but it was the whole team was pretty advanced on certain skin care and tips with skincare. I was just amazed. So it doesn't hurt that her mother and her grandmother is in the skincare industry, but it's amazing what, an 11 and 12-year-old can actually be aware of. I was just totally blown away with that.
Yeah, the education's out there. I mean, the information for skincare, everything for the whole beauty industry, it's all out there, so easily accessible through social media, the internet. I mean, I just think about being a little kid, and if I had to look anything up, I had to go look it up in an encyclopedia. Let me go throw it back really far here. I mean, I know I got to use the internet a bit, but when I was little,
you're aging yourself.
I know, but think about it. The internet really came out when I was, really was more popular when I was a teenager, but even then I had to dial up. It took a while to get it. Now you have these kids who have access 24/7 on their phones. Some kids have it earlier than others, but they have that access right there, no matter what. Hey, you want to see who was in this movie? Okay, let me look it up. IMDb, look it up. Now, if they want to look up, what is slugging? Well, let me look up the trends. Let me look up a video on TikTok. It's all out there, easy to get to at just like that.
And we do have those 15-second videos right now that are very, very popular all over social media. So they are constantly seeing commercials and they don't think they're commercials, but they're having this information in front of them constantly.
Yeah, before and afters is also a trend that we saw that's going to be more of a trend in 24. Before and afters, really people will stop, look at it, and then try to see what exactly was done and the time frame when it was done. But it's amazing that instant gratification of before and afters, it's definitely becoming more popular.
Yeah, it's definitely getting popular.
And informative.
Yeah.
Very, very informative.
You also have to be very careful at the same time of misinformation out there. And that's where you go to YouTube to give us the right information, what everybody needs to know. And you could always find out the latest and greatest here on A Skin Depth Convo. And I am excited because we're going to break down the newest trends for 2024 with you both in just a little bit. But first, before we talk to you, we are going to talk to Barry and Jenni from Lipgloss and Aftershave about what they think are going to be some of the biggest trends to look forward to in 2024. That's coming up right after this word from Lira Clinical.
Lira Clinical takes today's skincare to the next level. Using cutting-edge technology and the best high-quality ingredients, Lira gives you brighter, healthier, younger-looking skin. With award-winning products, advanced education, and innovative skincare philosophies, Lira Clinical is redefining aesthetics and offering superior products and treatments that produce remarkable results. It's beauty from the inside out. Be bright, be beautiful, Lira Clinical.
And joining us today, we have Barry Eichner and Jenni Nagle, the co-founders of Lipgloss and Aftershave. We are so excited to have you on the show today. Thank you for joining us.
So excited to be here.
Tell us about Lipgloss and Aftershave. I know you guys have been doing this for a while. For people who aren't aware of it, what is Lipgloss and Aftershave, and what made you decide to start it?
Well, boss, do you want to go first?
Describe who we are.
Okay.
But this is how we think. We're like one brain. You describe who we are, and I'll tell everyone how it became.
Okay, so Lipgloss and Aftershave, we consider ourselves a digital publication that focuses on medical and spa skincare. We also focus on longevity and a little bit of the beauty industry with lashes and brows. We do some waxing and we have some makeup on the site as well. But our main lane, our number one jam, is really focusing on news, reviews, and education for the medical and spa skincare arena.
And this was born honestly out of necessity. So 7 years ago at this point, Barry and I were working alongside other brands, not as Lipgloss and Aftershave, each independently. And these brands wanted to have people that were outside of their brand explaining their product and loving their product and reviewing their product and really selling it without being a sales rep. And we could not find someone that could handle that and explain it in an educated manner. So when we got together, Barry's like, why don't we just do this? You're an esthetician of 20 years. I've been in the industry for, I won't say how long. And we have this experience to share educated information about these brands and these ingredients and these treatments. And so the rest is history. We started with a couple brands and here we are 7 years later, rocking and rolling around the world.
Well, it was nice because we met you at the trade shows, and I think it was Brenda who introduced us to you.
Yeah, Brenda, I've known Brenda for a couple of years. And I think it was because she was the first person that I talked to about it, or we got connected through another friend. Her initial response was, yeah, let's try some stuff. And, we started working with Brenda. She was one of the first people that gave us one of our breaks. Like in the industry, there are a few what we call like the legacy brands. And when you're new in something and one of the legacy people recognizes you, it's sort of like look what we just did. And so it was a good day, the day that Brenda gave us our first break with Lira Clinical, because this was a brand that we saw as like one of the legacy brands in the industry. So we were really super excited to get that opportunity with them.
I remember at the San Jose show, we were at the San Jose show, and Brenda said, you need to meet Barry. And I said, who's Barry? She was, you need to meet him. And I said, sure. And you came twice because we were very busy. And you actually sat and talked to us. And I was like, okay, this is Barry. I had no idea what I was saying yes to. But what I saw with you and Jenni, I saw something different that the industry needed. And you really, your passion, both of you, your professionalism, you have done so well with us in the industry. And I have to say, I didn't have no idea who you guys were. Brenda brought you to our booth. You spent time. You did your research. You did your homework. You cared. And there was no money involved or nothing like that. It was because you really care about this industry. And I think that's what's really important. You love what you're doing. You and Jenni are unique in this industry. because you're sincere. And I think that's what we want more in this industry. So I have to say, as one of the founders, I'm really very thankful for this introduction that Brenda did.
In our prior lives, we focused on marketing. And then so we came together and we were doing digital technology that even some of the largest companies that have outsourced their marketing to like big firms, we're getting in touch with those big firms, and those big firms are like, wait, okay, so you're, and I said, this is how we do things. Like we're thinking next level. We're thinking next step. We're thinking, how can, when someone hits a comment on a social media post, can we automatically deliver right from that, deliver something to their email inbox? Like how can we make that happen? And we're able to leverage digital in a way that very few people do. And because of that, we're able to provide brands with enormous ROI in the term of connection to our community, both email marketing and social. So it's an advanced thing. And brands who know, like, who are open to working with innovators, they work with us and they work with us well. If you look at the brands that we work with, they're all brands that have a global presence, are innovative, are doing something unique and different. If it's a cookie cutter brand that sort of like copied somebody else and is just trying to get through the day, you won't see them on our list of sponsors. But if it's a brand that's forward thinking, outgoing, and then understands digital, look at our sponsor list and you'll see that.
That's wonderful. Well, that's what makes you guys so successful, that you're always on the forefront. You're looking ahead. You're seeing what's next as well, which is also why we're bringing you in to talk about trends for 2024. But before we get into 2024, let's look at this last year. What were some of the biggest trends you saw last year that might be rolling over into this year?
Devices kind of rocked our world this year. I think that incorporating them into more mild treatments was really, really big. And I think for the past maybe 2 years, we really saw that's where we got the most attention from estheticians. You know, it can be hard to talk about organic products, but the second you throw a device in with that treatment, the conversation already becomes more interesting. So I feel like that for the past probably 2 years, and clearly devices are going nowhere.
I have a couple of thoughts on that. The one thought that I have is, this is going to sound so ridiculous, but you know, when facials, when spa, when skincare became a prevalent part of the American culture, basically in the late 70s, early 80s is when it really hit in like major markets, New York, LA, that sort of thing. It was very much the ladies who lunch. It was the spa after you have lunch, and it was very fabulous, and it was very fluff and very relaxing. And they brought all of those European modalities to the United States, and we assumed as that hard work ethic American, you know, that's a fluffy thing. But what was really happening in those luxurious facials was this immense amount of facial massage that is actually insanely therapeutic to the entire facial skin structure and muscular structure. And what we saw happen in the 90s to the 2000s was, we got to get rid of that luxury and we got to strip the skin back to the bone, and then we'll build it back up again. And then we were like, oh, that was really bad. The thing that's happened is we've rebounded in a way from that harsh clinical to a big focus on facial massage. It's really popular. And we know this. Jenni will tell the story after I finish up my thing, because we know facial massage is huge for a reason, but we also realized that you can't beat the crap out of skin on a regular basis and expect it to continue to perform at its optimal level. And so every single brand across the board has said, we need to pull back on how aggressively we're attacking the skin, and we need to treat it in a little bit more of a kinder, gentler way. And as the industry has expanded and more people are buying into it, it creates a larger pool of resources. So people have more money for research and development. Lira couldn't do the amount of research and development that it does if it didn't have a global sales support to create that funding. And so the more money that's available to us, the more deep dive into research and development we can do. And then we can get peels that are so sophisticated that you leave glowing, not red and dripping. So that's really the trend that I see that picked up speed and will continue. But Jenni, can you please tell me a story about the massage and why we know it's so popular?
Well, now it's actually a demand, and I have the best story to pull this all together with devices and massage. So it's every single time, and I think the one specific post you're talking about, we have an educational platform that we work with, and that's all they do is provide education to estheticians digitally, video wise. And I asked her to create a little snippet about facial massage because estheticians all the time are like, where should I take a facial massage class? Who teaches this? And they're always coming to us. And when we posted a video using an olive oil based massage medium, and the esthetician was just doing it, it blew up. And right there, we were like, this is something that nobody is getting enough of. And they all wanted to know where to get that education. A device manufacturer is actually offering a massage medium course next month. And I love that. And I think this brings this whole concept full circle and shows the importance of A, facial massage, and B, the fact that just because you use technology and just because you're using advanced skincare does not mean you can neglect that facial massage portion. And when a device manufacturer wants you to get your hands on your client, I think that speaks volumes.
Oh, it does. And lymphatic drainage was always very popular in the past, and I think it's back now. And I'm seeing more and more medical spas are understanding the importance of why we really do need to understand massage, but also lymphatic drainage.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go and say, Barry, you kind of described Francine and my journey.
Our past,
because I came from the world of take the skin off because the skin needed to be thinned out and exfoliate to a point that you had inflammation for 14 days. And I was a hero esthetician if I could really wound the skin and be proud of the wounding that I caused. Francine, on the other hand, came in with more of a balance. I don't want to do that because of her skin melanin. But what we've learned is that we don't have to go in. You don't have to wound. The wellness of someone's skin is more valuable than actually the exfoliation part of it, building the functions of the epidermis and talking epidermis. What you said is exactly how we transformed and offered Lira in a totally different mindset that we did 30 years ago. And I'm seeing in the industry, we're respecting the skin. We're paying attention to the skin and the way the skin responds. So I have to say, by you saying that is helping the industry, and we're doing the same thing.
well, as we're talking about trends, this is what we're saying: proper exfoliation, healthy peeling, because health is major right now in skincare.
Well, and that's that when you say health and respect the skin, that leads me to like multiple conversations. We've worked with multiple advertisers who only do a 30-day supplement supply. We've worked with advertisers who have a nutritious drink that you can drink for your skin, your overall body health. So really, we've seen it ramp up the trend of nutrition to get to respect the skin. I'm praying that it becomes a standard, not a trend, where we focus on like a whole person. It's everywhere, and it's such a great part to respect the skin. So I love that line, Metaxia. I'm stealing that.
Well, the skin cell starts from within and works its way out. And even when you're doing a peel, you're going to peel off the dead skin. You're not peeling off those cells underneath. So this is where it's so important that we take care of it with, supplements and add topical at the same time. You're absolutely right on that.
100%.
And I can say to this, just going back to, we respond to what our community requests, right? So when the school that we work with launched this nutrition program last year, she was like, I got to get this out there. They can take it online. They can come to my school and take it in person. And we put it out there, and the response was overwhelming. So much so that that's all we talked about all year for her was this specific nutrition program, and estheticians flocked to it. So I foresee this continuing on, especially with the support of supplements, and estheticians really like this conversation never gets old. It's the same class that gets updated. But every time we talk about it, estheticians are like, when can I take it? How do I get it? Where do I get access? Is it updated? And they love it. So I think the demand is there for this to become a mainstay.
Yeah. No, I think it's an amazing thing to see how edible skincare supplements, all that stuff has really changed the industry, just the focus on it. Because, I think about adding in my collagen into my smoothies. I do all that stuff right now because you're right. You're trying to go from inside out. I carry my giant water jug with me everywhere to stay hydrated. It's something that see, you got yours there, Barry. See, he's got a nice purple. I know.
Is that a Stanley?
It's a Yeti. It's a
Yeti.
You guys know it. It was a Christmas gift from Dermagen.
I love it.
Oh, yes.
I'm a Hydro Flask truist with a ton of stickers on there.
Okay.
I love my Hydro Flask.
I do have a Stanley cup,
like
though.
Hey, as long as you get it in there, as long as you hydrate that skin. But let's talk about some of the other trends that we're seeing right now. I know that you had talked about a shift of skin longevity. And I love that you use this term. Can you talk about what that means?
I'm going to steal that from you.
I stole it from somebody else. We saw it happening. Jen, you tell them about the advertiser we worked with last year that started using it.
Anytime you use the word anti, right? It's like, it's negative, and it has just this connotation that goes along with it. So she was like, I don't use that term. There's nothing wrong with aging. We want to do pro-aging. I think there were a few terms that sort of surrounded this, and it was like, getting older is actually a great thing. I just turned 40 and I'm like, wow, there's so much more that I know now looking back. And even as I explain things to my 9-year-old, I'm like, you have just no idea. And it takes years to get that. So aging is such a great thing. So stripping away the word anti, which is really hard for this industry because there's an entire segment of anti-aging skincare, anti-aging treatments. I mean, that's a hard thing to retrain your brain if you've been in aesthetics for decades. So that's where we first started seeing it. And then it transitioned into the word longevity, and Barry will take over that segment.
I just know that like the words anti-aging were born in like the middle 80s by some 27-year-old ad executive who was like, no one wants to be old. Let's make it anti-aging. And it was just sort of like anti-aging this. And truthfully, like, I think it was somebody wiser than me once said, I was complaining about old, or I heard somebody complaining about being old, and they said, well, it's better than the alternative.
Yep.
And I don't think that really sinks in until you hit a certain number. But I really do love the age that I'm at, but I don't necessarily want to look like my father when he was this age. And because of the advances in technology and research and development that we have, we now don't have to. If you look at people who were just, there's the chaos of the TV in the 70s and the 80s. When I look at the stars who were the old people on the shows, they were in their late 40s and early 50s. That's the age of the character. And they looked like old people. I mean, it's because, we didn't have access to the amazing products that we have today or the treatments that we have today. We don't have anything. We didn't know what hyaluronic acid was and how to get it onto your skin. People were using cold cream thinking that they were like doing the next best thing for their skin at night. They were bragging about the fact that they just used a little petroleum jelly on their skin and that's all they needed. I think anti-aging the skin, it starts to turn into doing things that are essentially not great for the skin. And so when you talk about promoting skin's longevity, that puts you in a solution-oriented space. It puts you into thinking about positive ways of looking, being, and feeling as you exist. It's very common to really showcase things in that longevity conversation that bolster as opposed to tear apart. Everything that we talk about now is ways to lift, bolster, reinforce, support, health, grow. Retinols are not an exfoliant. Everyone thinks that they're an exfoliation. Retinols are a vitamin designed to lift new skin cells to the surface. Anytime you have a longevity conversation, it's how you're going to lift the skin up, make the skin happier, make the skin healthier. So you bring in nutrition becomes part of the longevity, supplements become part of longevity, gentler treatments become part of longevity. It's a mindset. Anti-aging means I'm bad and I got to correct it. Longevity means I'm good and I need to lift it. And that's why I think it's such a beautiful thought process and a great way to focus.
What I'm noticing is generational. You are correct. Longevity is positive, has to deal with health. But when you're dealing with older generations, they're a little more used to anti-age. So I love the idea that we have to introduce it. Is we even have a product called the Pro Anti-Aging Pads. It's for hyperpigmentation. It's also for acne. But when we were naming this particular product, what happened is we did a survey, and the number one product they would pick up had the name anti-age. This is why that product was named that way, even though it's for everything, and it is for longevity, but people were not able to identify that it was corrective if we say longevity. Longevity sounds to a lot of people, which we have to now re-educate them, is the
It
fact
sounds
that
like
it's
fluff.
right. It sounds like it's okay. It has maybe an antioxidant
Like
in
it's
it.
immortal.
That's fine. Yes, yes.
Right?
It doesn't sound like it's going to get in there and correct your skin and clean it up and take off 10 years and that. So it is the way we educate people to understand longevity incorporates correct exfoliation to control inflammation, to control free radical damage. It all goes together for longevity. It's not just peels, as we talked about earlier. The longevity incorporates all of those aspects to get perfect skin.
Skin longevity is using your body, your skin in a youthful state. For example, when you are slowing down your exfoliation naturally in your epidermis, you want to keep it at a youthful state. When you exercise, you're keeping your body at a youthful state. So the fact that we are addressing that we are aging, and we should be very thankful that we're aging. Age is a beautiful thing. And actually we come with wisdom. I find people love themselves more when they know how to keep their skin at a youthful state. Your balance of exfoliation and hydration. You're aware that the melanocytes will exhaust themselves if you don't respect them. Looking at you, Barry, and we saw you when we went to Trinidad, you are not your face. You have a youthful mindset on top of that. So you're always positive and learning. So there is a little bit more explanation to the longevity part, what Francine says, because there is really science behind our aging process. There is science to support that we could do things to stop that aging process or slow it down to really nothing. Because people look younger now than they ever did before. You can't tell someone's age. You can't say a 50-year-old is a 50-year-old. You could guess them at a 30-year-old. I mean, Jenni, you don't look your age. Barry, you don't look your age. I think it's because you put it
You
all
stop
together.
there. You didn't say, Francine, you don't look your age. What happened? You stopped right there. You were supposed to keep going, and you stopped right when it got to the good.
Okay, Francine, you look pretty darn
All
good
right,
for your
continue
age.
on. All right.
Oh, that's not right. No. I think it's going to take a while for like if you were let's throw out a case study. You're a woman who was 28. Or let's say she was 30 in 1990. So everything that you saw on the television, in your magazines, your
I was
newspapers.
28 in the 1990s. Keep going.
That's
Okay, keep going. You're
that's pretty much.
talking about me. Let's
But
go.
you're
Go
talking
on,
about me
Barry.
too. You're talking about me too. You know what I'm saying? So our age group, who is the largest consuming person out there right now, they were only ever taught anti-aging. And so that's why when you do a case study and you want to know, they identify with the term anti-aging is because that's what they know is going to help their skin. So I completely understand that customers are going to say to you, like, we love this product because it's called or we would go for this product because it's called anti-aging. I completely understand that.
Don't you see this shift now, though?
Yes,
And
we
I'm
do.
referencing specifically what is happening right now with this tween
Yep.
and this younger generation. Francine, you mentioned it's a generational thing. And the new generation, they already are thinking longevity. I can tell you right now,
Yep.
because they want peptides and they want retinols and they are 9 years old.
I know.
So
Yes.
it's starting there. So I think once this, the later wave is re-educated with the term longevity and that approach, the new wave, they're not going to need any help understanding that it's a full body approach, and the younger you start, the better off you are.
I have to give you a story. I'm going to interrupt. I just came back with Anna. We went to a soccer tournament, and I had the opportunity to be with 11 and 12-year-olds, and they were talking about hyaluronic acid. They were going into Sephora, and they were talking about different masks. They're 11 and 12-year-old. They were so much more educated than I was, because, again, I'm the youngest of the group, right? But I was surprised that they even knew how to say hyaluronic acid, and they were saying how many drops, and the parents were just amazed because there's so much more out there for them to pick up and learn. And you're right, Jenni. I mean, I just recently saw that last week, and I thought, wow.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. I mean, I was putting glitter on my eyelids and painting my nails, and was the advancement,
I'm
right?
with
Like, it's mind blowing in a good way, but you've got
No, wait.
educated.
If I remember, we started our children on sunscreen much earlier. So with this generation, we started sunscreen on our children, and I'm noticing our children are sending sunscreen and more on their children. So it is different now too.
Imagine what skin at 50 of somebody who's been putting vitamin C and SPF on religiously since they were in their teens. Imagine what that skin's going to look like. But I would like to go full disclosure. I was 16 years old, shopping at the mall, at the department store, at the Clinique counter for my 3-set from Clinique. The cleanser, the cleansing bar, the yellow lotion, and then I don't even remember what else after that. But
the toner?
The toner.
All of it. I used all of it.
I took care of my skin when I was 16. This is what I was doing because I had to have good skin. I had acne as a teen. So I had to, I got rid of it. But then I started young too. I knew it was important. I didn't necessarily know how to say hyaluronic acid, but I knew that I was putting on my Clinique yellow lotion. And I knew that was good.
The yellow lotion.
I don't know why it was good, but they told me it was good, so I used it.
We talk about generational skin, how everybody's going to change things generationally. The longevity is more of a term for the younger generation. Older generations tend to go more towards anti-age product just because of the knowledge of what they've kind of been used to. But another thing that we're seeing in trends is a focus on menopausal skin. I don't think we've really talked about that. I know that that's something you wanted to talk about.
Huge.
I love look at this, how this spans. So you've got the tweens that are so into it, and now all of a sudden it's okay to talk about menopause, and it's okay to talk about the side effects of menopause, because I know I'm only 40, but for the past 20 years that I've been in skincare, that was never a topic. We didn't learn how to treat menopausal skin in school or in any course that you took outside of school. And so the fact that this is it's an acceptable conversation to have now is amazing, because again, the response that we've seen from our community is mind-blowing about the education they want for that specific demographic.
Oh, huge. I mean, okay. So, all right. We might be in that area. In that section over on that side. It was.
I haven't experienced it yet.
It was taboo. And what happens is it was totally taboo.
Right.
But again, you said something that was very important. Women in that time lose a lot of collagen in the first 5 years. So it's a major problem. Their hormones are going all over the place, or hyperpigmentation becomes an issue. There's so many things going on, and they actually become the best clients for the estheticians because there's so much going on internally that is showing up on their skin. So this is a great time where you should be visiting your professionals in med spas or your estheticians prior. So this way you have less to fix when it starts breaking down. This is why you need to start earlier. So preventative makes it so much easier during that time.
So I don't have any experience with menopause personally. But one of the things that I do have is experience talking to skincare professionals. The conversation that I had with one of these women blew my mind. As I understand it, hormones are the precursors to stem cells. And then stem cells go up and they kickstart collagen, and they kickstart hyaluronic acid. And they're the get-goers for all of the things that make everything beautiful, correct? And so when
the endocrine system, yep.
Yeah. So she explained this to me. And so I said, so basically, if you're in menopause and you don't have the hormones to make these activities happen, your wound healing is lower, your collagen production is lower, everything is just a little lower. You need to treat women with menopausal skin with a much gentler approach because their skin doesn't have the bounce back that it used to have. It needs a lot more loving care. And I never knew that. I learned this at the beginning, at the end of 2023. I've been in this industry since 1998. And so the fact that I can't even imagine what menopausal women were being treated like in the late 90s and early 2000s when estheticians were just destroying their skin with these peels. Like, I can't even imagine. I'm thrilled that more and more people are talking about this, and we're focused heavily this year on educating on menopause so that estheticians can give better care to the people that they work with.
I think what's important is where Lyra's stance is. We address what the skin needs. And it's going to be, like you said, you didn't understand about menopausal skin. But if you really pay attention and are in sync with your skin and understand the signs and what the skin is telling you, even sometimes you don't even know you're on premenopause. And I think the shift is starting to pay attention to what the skin needs and the way it responds and talks to you. And when you have dehydration or you have hormonal imbalance, when you have pigment coming up, all of a sudden you probably might know when it's starting even before the person knows when it's starting when you're working with that person that closely. The key thing is you need an esthetician, you need a skin professional to help you through any stage of your life, from early hormonal acne
To melasma, when you're younger.
having babies.
Yes.
It's not just menopausal skin, it's knowing the skin needs and what the skin needs and how to treat it in any stage of your life. We need to make it broader.
Metaxia is not just saying words. I've been in with them multiple times, and I had a treatment, and she was watching my skin. They put the cleanser on my skin before we were starting, and she's like, he's getting a little bit of a reaction from that. It's on the video. Barry's getting a little bit of a reaction from the cleanser. Now, we know his skin is healthy, and we are aware of his skin. We've seen his skin over time. So we're going to continue on. But if you have a client you don't know that's getting a little bit of a reaction, you may want to press pause here and then reassess your treatment. That's the first situation that I witnessed. The second situation I witnessed was in front of 160 people. They had a scheduled treatment planned. Now, when you're in a situation where you're trying to train 160 estheticians and you're on a stage and you have somebody come up who's going to be the model, and then you do some inquiry and you find out this model is not the model for us. Like, they had to stop what they were doing. They didn't risk that client in one eat at all. They stopped what they were doing, looked at the trainer and said, we're going to do a completely different treatment. We have to reassess everything right now. And they stopped, redid everything, and then did a new treatment to make sure that they were taking care of that. So if you're working with Lira, you're already trained to take care of your client's skin. But I will tell you that that's not always the case. And some people just push forward because pain is good. I said it all the time. Like, get me back to the boat. I don't care if it burns. I don't care if it hurts. Pain is beauty. That's not the case anymore, though. So I just wanted to shout out to Lira for standing behind what they believe in. Francine, go back to you.
I forgot what I was going to say now, so forget it. No, jokes aside. What I was just going to say, it's very important to know when there's hormones involved, it starts younger too. So this is why we really do need to get people to the professional earlier. It will be a lot easier for the professional when we have less to correct because we did more preventative. Sunscreen is very important. The correct products to be using, skin brighteners, anti-inflammatories, antioxidants. So when you do get to perimenopause and when you do get to menopause, we don't have to get that aggressive. So we don't have to do the stronger treatments that are necessary because the skin is not damaged as much. So it does make a big difference to start early.
All right, so we have talked about so far nutrition and supplements. We've talked about the terms like longevity versus anti-aging, a change there, also menopausal skin. But what are some other trends that you're expecting to see this next year?
I think, well, it's kind of encompassing every single thing that we're talking about, because it's skin health, which includes the microbiome, which includes supplements, which includes nutrition, which includes it's really skin health and incorporating. I mean, I'm a device freak. Okay. So I will use a device with any treatment I can, whether it be LED to expedite the healing, whatever. And that doesn't necessarily mean I like devices to strip or be aggressive. Devices don't, that's not what that means. Just to accelerate the treatment, right? So I think if you can enhance penetration, that's amazing. I think that that's coming a very, very long way. Seeing such a more mild approach to penetration. It's no, you don't have to do microneedling. So I feel like we're seeing a lot more brands come out with serums that are supposed to be nanoed, serums that can be used with oxygen infusion, but it really encompasses everything, that it's this well-rounded approach. It's not a one size fits all and a one and done series of 6 treatments and you're done.
No, that's true. And the technology is completely different now. That you're right. We don't have to be as aggressive. Inflammation is what ages us. And sometimes when we get too aggressive, we're aging the skin even faster. So this is where it becomes very, very important to understand how you're dealing with the skin, what part of the skin you're dealing with. Microbiome is a word that's out there quite a bit, and it's all about balancing the skin, balancing the hydration, because if the skin is hydrated, it becomes the barrier it's intended to be, versus if you're over exfoliated and using the wrong products, at that point, the barrier becomes vulnerable. And then this way, the skin is starting to break down. So that is where we're finding more and more of these treatments are more high tech. Peptides have gone to another level right now, that they're targeting skin conditions in multiple ways, from collagen to elastin, from brightening agents, anti-inflammatories, antioxidants, so many different things that we're doing. Peptides are also epigenetics right now that actually deal quite a bit with epidermal growth factors. So these are things that are changing at the cellular level. And we're able to deliver that in skincare. We're able to deliver in daily home care. So this is where we're seeing a big change. They go to the gym, they walk, they drink more water, they're carrying their Yetis with them. They're doing all this and taking supplements and putting the right products on their skin with sunscreen.
Multi-pronged approach. I mean, there's no one clear path. And I think people are starting to understand that. And you touched upon epigenetics. That is a very new topic to me when it comes to skincare specifically. And I think I can ask the two of you, the three of you guys, while we're here, because maybe this is a path that you guys are taking, but is the reason that skincare in general is this isn't some booming. I mean, I've seen it here and there. I've seen a few brands here and there mention the word and talk about it. But is it because, skincare brands can't claim to be making changes to the skin at a genetic level? Like, can they claim that from the FDA's stance? So where's the fine line to where skincare brands are going to get involved?
This is where they're finding more and more of the corrective gene expression. This is what we're dealing with. Inflammation is an issue. It ages us. I mean, telomeres are something we've talked about in the past quite a bit. And we notice that with inflammation and free radical damage, our telomeres shorten as we age. So the whole idea is to do things intrinsically and extrinsically to protect our genes. And this is what we're able to do in skincare, because we are calming down inflammation and we're really dealing with free radical damage. So this is where they're finding that type of research, and we're seeing it more and more in epigenetic research. And we're also seeing this now in the new and other things such as exosomes that are not FDA approved, but they're all over the world right now as a big, big trend.
We've seen exosomes out there. I was to a medical show in Miami. I ran into a company, big display, and they were talking about exosomes, and I immediately went over, because up until that time I hadn't heard of exosomes, and they started telling me about them. So I don't know if they were if there was something that they were using in Europe, if they're not FDA approved. I don't really know, but I did see them at a medical trade show.
And there's a lot out there. We just came back from Hong Kong, and we're hearing more and more about it. There's different types of exosomes. We have human, we have animal, and plant. And I think plant is the one that we're looking more for in skincare. But there's only one patent right now that came out. I think it was in April, from South Korea. It's a specialized rose exosome. And this patent is very, very new, but there's so many more skincare labs right now doing a lot of research, putting that rose technology in, because the rose technology is part of the plant stem cell technology that we've been dealing
You
with
love
since
that forever.
2010.
Yeah.
We've been there, and we understand the benefits of what plant stem cells do for the skin, the nutrition that it brings to the skin to actually help with the repair. But at the same time, we're dealing with the technology of either peptides or exosomes to deliver the benefits of the rose or any other plant stem cell. So we are even looking into this, and we have some of our chemists looking into this and some of the new technologies that we're looking for 2024.
You guys talk about using plant stem cells for since 2010, right? So
Right.
I was working with another brand who's talking about a peel that they have, and they're putting all these other ingredients into the peel so that you're not only delivering the peel, but you're also, you're adding these other things into it. And it was great. I mean, we're great products. I'm not dogging the product at all, but they were trying to make it sound like, wow. And I was like, okay, yeah, like Lira's been doing that. I didn't say this, but like you've been doing that forever.
Day one.
Like you put all the juicy deliciousness into the chemical peel so that the juicy deliciousness gets in there and does amazing things to the skin while peeling it. And so there's a couple of brands that no matter what we've tried, it's just stupid good. And you guys are one of them. Like every single time there's something new come out, we're just sort of like, how? Like, how?
I have to say, what's the key thing? Another commercial for Lira. We don't stay.
What I just said wasn't.
I know, but I'm going to add to the commercial. We don't stay with a formula that is a bestseller and stay and keep it there for years. We're constantly looking and asking what's new out there. We have a good product that's probably our top 10. We're always trying to keep it updated. So our formula's not drastically changed, but whatever ingredients are going to help advance it to the next level, today's level, formulations are so valuable to this industry. What you're seeing is that our formulations are getting so sophisticated. But we're not the first one to do something and try it out on our clients. We're always doing the research to support it. Like Francine says, exosomes, we already are checking it out. We're working with it. So we'll probably put it in some of our top sellers once it's approved, once we've done all the data to support it. But the key thing is keeping your products current, not having a formulation that goes back 10, 15, 20 years. We have peels 13 years old, 10, 13 years old. We're still looking to keep them current. And I think that, again, agreeing, and thank you for that shout out to Lira, but it's more about keeping up with technology. And I think that that's really important. Like you said, it is always giving you the best outcome because of the latest research and ingredients that are out in the market.
Well, I don't know if it's a new technology. I'm sure it's not. But what you guys did, the Elio drops. I mean, it's the most stupid thing that I've ever used on my skin in my entire life. I feel like I am a Lira prophet when I talk to other. I'm like, have you tried the Elio drops?
Nice to hear.
I'm like, have you tried the Elio drops? And they're like, no. I'm like, next time you're at a show, because I was just somewhere. I was getting a treatment somewhere. Tatiana at Dermagen. I was like, girl, have you tried the Elio? She was putting SPF on me. And I was like, it's okay. Like, She goes, I love this one. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, Elio drops. And she's like, what's Elio drops? I said, are you coming to New York with She said, yes. I said, I will get you Elio drops from Lira in New York. It is the most amazing sunscreen you'll ever put in your face in your entire life.
And once you go there, you can never go back.
Once you go Elio, you never go home.
To put anything else on there, like, we don't have that one? Where's the Lira one?
So how do you see sun care technology actually evolving in the future?
I'm scared because I've been doing a lot. Been watching a lot on sunscreen testing and how SPFs are qualified and what has to be done in the labs to get them the ratings that they want and all of the label requirements that are changing.
And the drama around chemical and the drama that's going on chemical sunscreens right now and whether they're going to have to get pulled and what the ingredients are going to get pulled. And
it's sad because to me, this is one of the core products that the world needs. It's not a specialty. It's something that's required. So when it becomes that much harder to get things through and approved, I get the stringent, like I get that they want to eliminate marketing claims, but as the more I learn about the strict regulations, it's frightening. And for brands, it's a shame to see how much money and time and everything that has to go into an SPF. So when you guys launch a new SPF, it blows my mind, especially now knowing what goes into it. So I'm nervous for the future of SPF.
You shouldn't be, because the skincare lines actually take responsibility. When you're FDA approved, there's extra testing involved. We do what we claim that we are a sunscreen. We do have to stand behind it. So you do have a lot of extra testing involved. But the technology is so very, very unique right now. We have so many different things. It's just not a zinc oxide that you put on the skin anymore. It has so many more powerful ingredients, anti-inflammatories, antioxidants, and we're putting hydration in. We're putting so many different things. So people enjoy using it and they want to see the benefits of using it. They're not dreading putting it on. They want to put it on.
yeah,
It's like a daily moisturizer in a way. So it's something you put on and your skin looks better. And with the new anhydrous, waterless, where there's no preservatives, this becomes so very important because this is what today's consumer is looking for, the next level of sunscreens.
do you guys, Francine and Metaxia, remember back in the early 2000s when SkinCeuticals, did you guys use them at all? We sold them in one of the spas that I worked with, and they had an SPF. It was their physical, and that was the one that the rep suggested for me. And so I'm like big, like quarter size, and I put it on, and it was like putting Crest toothpaste on my face.
Oh.
It was just so disgusting, and I said, I'm not wearing this. This is so gross. And so I just didn't wear it for the longest time. And this was my first job in the industry. So I didn't really get that I thought that was sunscreen.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was just a gross sunscreen. So it took me years before someone was like, try this sunscreen. I was like, ugh, no, I can't. I'm like, I'll get dark spots. I can't. And then I learned. And so just we talk about how all the technology has evolved. The technology in SPFs is like next level now. And I just am so grateful for that, because I think it's going to save so many people so much aggravation, pain, and potentially problems, that I'm so grateful that we have these new, sophisticated, really beautiful products to use, because it just makes it easier.
Yep.
Skin longevity. Skin longevity.
All that.
There you
All right,
go.
we're talking technology. So I'm bringing the biggest word that you're hearing everywhere, not just skincare, but everywhere in the world right now, is AI. You're hearing all about AI everywhere you go. But how is it going to affect the skincare industry? What do you think the future is of using AI in this industry?
The timing could not be more perfect. Did you guys see what was just FDA cleared? It's called the Derma Sensor. I just read the headline. It is an AI piece of technology. So it looks almost like a cell phone from what I could tell from the image. And they're issuing these to physicians' offices to assist in detecting skin cancer.
Wow.
And it was because, AI, it's still hard for me to wrap my head around. I mean, we're using it on the back end of a business when it comes to social media, and we're using it in that respect. And that's easy to understand. But AI, when it comes to skincare, my head goes to touch and feel and in person. And you can't replace that with a robot. But when I saw this, I was finally able to wrap my head around, oh my God, this is game changing, because it just decreases the missed opportunities of finding these spots, or it helps them expedite the process, and it eliminates the questions that these doctors are having to ask, like, should I have that checked out? And they just, I guess, hover this device. I don't know enough about how it actually works, but it's AI technology to detect skin cancer, which I think is amazing.
So cool.
I worked with a company that was a mobile app. And their concept was, you took a picture of your face. It was a scan. And then they would use AI to sort of like figure out where your skin abnormalities were. So your wrinkle depth, your hydration levels, your pore sizes, your redness factors, anything that you would need to do in order to come up with a treatment plan and a home care protocol. And AI is going to be in of so many industries, and it's prevalent. So we're going to see more of it, because if it's being used to detect skin cancer, that technology is going to be replicated, changed, and produced to do more and more skin analysis and generate skin recommendations. I definitely think it's going to be incredible. I think it's going to help estheticians figure out what's happening with skin and then create treatment plan and then help estheticians to create home care plans.
I'll add one more thing. It's going to give us also the results of their efforts. So when you have these devices, it will show you what you can do, but it'll actually measure the results. So it's also a positive because we become more valuable as treating people's skin because we can measure it.
All right. Thank you guys so much. This is so informative about so many exciting things coming up in the skincare industry this next year. You guys are at the forefront of it. So where can people find out more information about lip gloss and aftershave?
Well, we have a website, www.lipglossandaftershave.com.
We have social media, which is Instagram and TikTok are our main two platforms. So you can just search lipgloss_aftershave, and same on TikTok. We are there as well.
Great. So exciting. So make sure you go check them out. You guys are a wealth of knowledge. Love having you on the show, and you definitely have to be back here. So thank you so much for joining us today on the Skin Depth Combo. A big thank you to Barry and Jenni for joining us today. A lot of great information to unpack there. So what are some things that stuck out to you in that interview about what trends to look forward to this year?
Well, I always love hearing about nutrition and supplements. They've always been important. I don't really feel it's something new. I just feel that more and more people are open to hear about it. But what stuck with me is when they brought up menopausal skin. That's nothing new to me. But I think it is important when Jenni said that when you have menopausal skin, it doesn't repair as fast. And that's something that we do believe in quite a bit, because when you're at the point where you're in menopause, your skin changes quite a bit. You do lose the collagen. Your skin is drier than it was before. We are able to get in there and change the skin and do treatments that can repair menopausal skin.
For me, menopausal skin is something that the skin needs a little bit more attention, and you have to be aware of it. What we really strive is really focusing on an individual and what their skin needs. A lot of times you'll notice a change if you have a regular patient or client coming in. You'll notice that there's a shift. So by being aware, you're going to help the skin heal, like Francine said, heal in a way. You're going to reassure it. You're going to comfort it. Because it is living. It is telling you that it needs a little bit more attention, more hydration, even cleansing. Sometimes you're having more of a gentle cleansing. You want to avoid the inflammation. You want to build that barrier. So menopause is one of the conditions we treat, but keeping your eye on what the skin needs, reassure them that you can get through this and your skin will be fine.
Right. And home care becomes very, very important because you're able to do home treatments and home care, as Metaxia said, to calm down the inflammation, to deal with free radical damage, brighten hyperpigmentation. You're able to do that on a daily basis where you're able to get results. Our goal is to make sure we repair the skin, bring it back to its natural state, and you can do it with today's technology.
And customizing for the individual, not having a menu that offers a service to everyone walking in the door the same. Customization is really, really important right now, understanding that everybody's needs are different, depending on a weekend, depending on your time of the month, depending on menopause, depending on stress levels, depending on medication. So really, again, don't be afraid of a title of any condition. Just understand that you can reassure the skin and work within the skin's functions to keep the skin balanced.
AI is also something we kind of talked about too. And I am really intrigued by how AI is not only affecting the world as a whole, but also this industry. And I was really excited about hearing about the screening for skin cancer. I think that is amazing where we're seeing AI go. What are your thoughts, though, about AI coming into this industry?
I think devices are very popular right now, using a device to assist a treatment or assist home care. Devices are very popular, but the technology and AI working with devices is giving you such more reach. You're seeing more of that technology working in a level that we did never have exposed ourselves for. So AI is assisting us, giving the data that support the results that we visually see, but actually factual to see it with, the analytics on it. But AI is definitely going in education, in formulations, in the way we talk, the way we do skincare. And Francine, what do you think about AI and skincare?
AI, I know everybody's afraid of it in a way, but it's actually helped speed up a lot of the research and development, as Metaxia is talking about, because it took us a long time to get all this information. It brings it to you. And then you're able to use devices to help look into skin cancer. That's a big deal because we are here trying to make sure we keep the skin healthy. Sunscreen is always very, very important. But if there is a device that helps us screen for skin cancer, that is a very positive thing. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I love the fact that you can streamline something. I love the fact that we can assist. I don't think of it as a replacement, but I think of it as something that assists. Whether it's a doctor, whether it's an esthetician, whoever it is, it's something that assists people to make their work not only a little bit easier, but also be able to catch things, which I think is really, really important. Also give them more time to do the things that they need to do instead of having to do the little things that can be kind of tedious. So I think that's really important there. Let's also talk about, I think a big thing that's going to be a big focus this year is also the body as a whole. We talk about just the face and how important that is, but the whole body, how important is that?
For me, understanding the body, I always, for years was the décolleté and we need to understand that you need additional aid, your extremities, you need that to bring the pigment, reassure the pigment all over your body, but your hands and your legs, again, it's a full body treatment now that we're doing offering. There's a surge to it right now because a lot of the modalities, a lot of the machines and devices are talking about the body too, tightening and firming. So the microcurrent, the EMS, all these things are addressing the body, and I think skincare is assisting that too right now.
No, I agree with Metaxia. What I notice is, I know she does the same thing I do, because what we do is we have many peel bottles at home. We take them, pour them, put them on after the shower. Oh, we keep going. We bring the peels, on the body. We do all sorts of different things with our peels and our retinol. Love it because, again, skin regeneration all over the body is very important. Neck and décolleté have been something we've been working on quite a bit. But the thing that we're looking at now, hands, arms, knees, and of course legs, and she said heels and stuff, but the arms and the hands are very, very important. We are finding now that you not only have to have a brightening agent on your hands, but you have to have repair. Again, inflammation, dryness, all of this. So we have to repair your hands, repair your arms. Even if you're exfoliating the body, you have to put back in, just like we do on the face, neck, and décolleté. So it's part of the system that you have to keep going, because when you start repairing the skin, you start seeing signs of healthy skin coming out, and you have to keep it up. That's the key. You don't do it 2 weeks before spring, or you don't do it a week before you go on vacation. If you do it ongoing, you're going to see better results. And today's body products are so great that you're able to put them on your face. They're so good. They're dealing with peptide technology. They're dealing with brightening agents. We're dealing with anti-inflammatories, antioxidants, repairing agents, plant stem cells for the body.
I can tell you the one I want to add to that is your body is different too. So when you treat your face, you're not treating your hands and your body the same way. There's a delay reaction to the peels. There is more of an application you might do on the body. So it's a little bit different. So when you're considering doing body treatments, understand there is a little bit a different response that your body gives in your face and décolleté. And you'll see a little bit different of a response to certain ingredients. But I could tell you, once you do a nice exfoliation on your body and hydrate it, there's a glow that comes up, there's a plumping, and you can actually firm, your arms and firm your legs in a way that we couldn't do maybe 20 years ago. So technology is there to support full body treatments.
There is a caution when you're doing body peels. When you're dealing with salicylic acid, you should only do 25% of the body at a time. If you're doing the face, you only do the face. If you're doing the back, you're doing the back. It's usually for back acne. But salicylic acid only for 25% of the body at a time.
That's very important.
Yeah, so smart, Sam. That was a nice, very good point.
Well, that's important. Look, this is important information. And as much as I love social media and everything out there, you can't only get this in 15 seconds. So you have to find information everywhere, like on this podcast, A Skin Depth Convo. Lots of great information. 2024, there's so much more fun to look ahead. And it sounds like a lot of things that have been really successful and trending in the past are continuing on to roll this year, and a lot of fun other things to look forward to as well. But also, I want to give you all a big announcement of what else is coming up on A Skin Depth Convo. So one of the things we've actually promised as well before was talking about both of your jet-setting adventures throughout the world. So purely global, that's going to be coming up. We're also going to dive deeper into a few more trends, medical aesthetics, and also social media in the skincare industry and packaging. We'll be bringing on Brenda Cumming and Anna Constantine for that in a future episode. And then also, we're getting all of you involved in this show. We are going to be doing a special Q&A episode. So if you have a question for Francine and Metaxia, we want them now. So make sure you can email them to skindepthconvo@liraclinical.com. That's skindepthconvo@liraclinical.com. Send us your questions, give us your name, where you're from, and we're really excited about sharing your question and also getting you the answers that you want. Also keep an eye on our social media at Lira Clinical to put your question there as well. So if you have any questions, again, skindepthconvo@liraclinical.com and also at Lira Clinical on social media. But another great episode, everybody. Another great time with both of you.
Thank
2024, lots of fun this year.
2024, can you believe it? We're here at 2024. Oh my God.
I cannot believe it. But thank you, Anna. It's always exciting to talk about the trends and finding out that everything from last year is not that much different than it is this year. So yes, we're on the right trends.
More of the good things to happen for 24.
I agree.
Yes,
I agree. And make sure you also like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast on any of your social media channels or any of your other podcast directories. But that will do it for all of us today. For all of us here at A Skin Depth Convo, I'm Anna Kagarakis. We'll talk soon.